Hi everyone, it's your girl Gina. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today's short video is to introduce you to and show you how to set up and use Periscope for Twitter. So let's get started. Periscope is a live streaming video tool that you use on Twitter. And so Periscope is either for you to do the broadcasting or for you to just do some watching, because you can watch people do stuff live and in living color on Twitter. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to set up a Periscope account. Now, Periscope, up until recently, was really just for the Apple products, and now you can get them on Android as well. So I've installed it on both my Android phone, and I've also now installed it on my iPad. I've mostly been using it on my phone, but for the sake of this video, really is why I installed it on the iPad, just on this account, just so I can show you this cool thing. Now, I wasn't able to find a download in the actual iTunes, the store on the iPad or on my phone. So I ended up figuring out eventually that I really just needed to go to two links. So if you look below this video, I have the two links there, both for the iTunes as well as the Android version of this app. You can click on those links and it'll walk you through the download process. So you want to call those URLs up on your mobile device. So when you click through, it'll take you right to the download process. So email them to yourself and click on them while you're on your mobile device. So now let's jump in. So when you first call up the Periscope, after you've downloaded and you first call it up, you get the option, you get these two options. You can either log in with Twitter or you can use a telephone number and sign up that way. So I have chosen to log in with one of my Twitter accounts. So if you have more than one, when you do it, it'll give you a list of the accounts. So this is what you see when you open. Now here's what it's telling me, that there's nobody live, and we'll get back to that screen a little later. So for the moment, what I want you to do is look at the bottom right of your iPad or your phone, and you click on the icon with the peephole, and let's not pay any attention to that at the moment. Click on the icon of the person up at the top. So what you want to do, once you've done that, this is actually taking you to your profile. If you've attached it to your Twitter account, you're going to see what's on your Twitter. Now, here's two things to be aware of. When you're setting up your Periscope account, you actually do not have to use the same handle that you have on Twitter. So just because my handle on Twitter is Virtual Gina, doesn't mean I actually have to call myself Virtual Gina on Periscope. I happen to have chosen to do so, but you can make that be. But be mindful that you can only make that selection the one time. Okay, so give it some thought if you don't want it to be the same as your Twitter handle. Then the other thing is the bio on your account can be updated or changed. So I'm just showing you for the sake of demonstration. I'm not changing anything. And once you've changed it, so you just click right on it. It allows you to make changes, and then you click done, and it'll carry through, and you just updated it. So now let's do a brief overview of Periscope and how it works. Let's go down to the left-hand corner and click on the little television icon. Now what normally happens here is, if the people that you're connected to are at the moment hosting any live Periscopes, up at the top where you see no one you are following is live, you would see any live Periscopes right there. But there's nobody that I'm connected to at the moment having a live one. So, but if you scroll down, you will see that there was some recent ones that took place. So I can scroll down and see my connections, what my connections might have been up to, and it'll tell me how long ago. And if you notice, for example, there's one that I created called It's Storming in Central Florida. I'm just going to click on it, and I just created this really for the sake of demonstrating. I did this a couple of hours ago. I just got up from my desk, went outside, and I made a Periscope. And so it's pretty simple, right, to do that. Now, here's the thing. What if you really did want to see what other people are doing? If you look up at the top, it says view global list. So you can click on that, or if you go to the bottom and click on the globe, it allows you to see at a glance where the people are. Now I have, if you look up at the top, it says map. I have this set to see based on the map. But if you want to see in other countries, then there's a way to do that just by scrolling through the map. Or you can use the list mode and you just scroll up and down until you see something that you want to take a look at, because I like to see what's going on in other places. So it's pretty cool. You can see where people are. Now, speaking of where people are, let me take you a quick moment back over to your profile. If you notice on your profile where it says settings, you can receive a notification when somebody starts to follow you. Okay? Or receive a notification. All right, so now that we've seen how we can see the broadcast of others, how about we take a look at how we ourselves can be broadcast? We do that by clicking on the Periscope button here at the bottom of the screen. So the first thing you want to do is give it a name, and remember you want to make it as recognizable as possible. So make sure you give it a name that really reflects what it's about, because you don't want people clicking through it and then discover it's not about that. So once you've given it a name, you are going to, there are 4 options that you need to be mindful of, be aware of. So the first is this one here, this little arrow thingy, and it is the location feature. So when you click on that, it's going to ask you if you want to turn on. Now you may already have this turned on from in the settings, in the global settings, but for each broadcast you do, it's going to ask you if you want to turn it on if you don't have it turned on in the global settings. And the next one would be the privacy settings. So you can make a broadcast private where only people that you specifically invite are able to see it. So that's actually a great feature and a great tool that you can use. Let's say you have a group, a coaching group, or a group where, somebody may have paid to be a part of that group or something like that. You can possibly use that feature so that only those persons are able to see. And hey, you can even have a meeting. Now, bear in mind, you have to make sure that you read very carefully what happens to the Periscope once it's saved and where it's saved and all of that. Okay, so if you turn on private, it'll only be seen it won't be seen in the Twitter feed, and it won't be public to people that are connected with you. But if it's public, it means that anybody that's connected with you can see it, as well as can invite others to see it while it's happening, or the recording. The next thing would be then this thing here. What this gives you the ability to do is, when you have a Periscope taking place, you can set this so that only people to whom you are connected have the ability to participate in the chat as the Periscope is happening. So there are 2 options there. You can just turn it on for anybody on Twitter or anybody on Periscope to chat, or just those persons with whom you're connected. And then the final, and probably one of the most important ones, is that you can use this feature here to indicate whether or not you want this to be shared on Twitter or not. So if you select this, it will actually be available to your followers on Twitter. And then, of course, you don't want to forget to go ahead and hit the Start Broadcast button. So once you hit Start Broadcast, all of the features that you selected in the earlier steps will now come into play, and you will be periscoping. And to demonstrate what a periscope actually looks like, I recorded a short one for you. So you want to take a quick look at this, and you could see that it's pretty quick, it's pretty clean, and it's pretty easy to do. So it's Friday night, and I am still in my office. I work from home, and you see my, I'm in Central Florida because you see that Go Magic. I'm really just doing this Periscope. I'm periscoping as a demonstration for a video I'm creating. So these are some things on the bulletin board in my office. You can see real women don't have hot flashes, they have power surges. And there's some currency from different places, pictures of my granddaughter and some good friends, and that's my bulletin board. So this is just, again, a periscope for the sake of demonstration. And now that I've done this, I'm going to be signing off from my office. I'm going to get me something nice to drink and have some little R&R. Over and out. So I'd like to say thanks again for watching, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And of course, you want to share this great information with people in your circles. So I will see you on the next video.